Hey guys, we are live. We are live. So I'm just going to wait for about 20 to 30 seconds for people to join up. I never pre-announce my live videos. So if you are watching this post-live broadcast, just fast forward about 30 seconds to a minute and you will see the material. Well, the main subject will start beginning. So we're going to talk about remote work, coding careers, and I'll be answering your questions. This will last approximately 25 minutes to half an hour. I got to cut them shorter now. I can't do the hour-long broadcast anymore. There, see, look at that. You heard that sound? It took like 30 seconds for YouTube to send out the notification. Unbelievable. Hello, how are you, Vinod? How are you? So, we'll just wait for a bunch of people to get on. And then we'll jump into the subject, and then we're going to do hello, Namanja. Kevin, I just signed up to a bootcamp, man. Wish you luck. Wish me luck. Have amazing luck. What do you think about the GS66 MSI laptop? I don't know if I've seen that one or not. Generally speaking, I find that just about every laptop that you can get these days is going to be pretty good, especially for code. You could use a 5-year-old laptop these days and have a good coding laptop. I think the GS66 MSI, aren't those gamer laptops? George, aren't those gamer laptops? If they're gamer laptops, they're going to have a ton of power. So as long as the keyboard is easy to use, you should be okay. Happy to see you again. Yes, Flavio Padilla. How are you? I don't know how I can pronounce that. Liljalia? I don't know. My apologies. What is my next step after the HTML, CSS, JavaScript? If I want to go back-end development, I don't know. If you're doing StudioWeb, just jump into the PHP and the SQL. For you, if you're not doing the StudioWeb, I would choose a back-end language. It could be either server-side JavaScript, server-side PHP, or PHP is only server-side, or Python. It's up to you. It's up to you. They're all pretty cool. Okay. Sadat, I'm a senior about to graduate working primarily in JS, JavaScript, and sometimes Go. How should I prepare for interviews? First thing you do is you find the companies where you want to work. And then what you do is you research on what they're doing, what stacks they're using, what their current projects are, so that when you go into interview with them, you know what it is that they are doing, right? So you can ask questions about their projects. They'll like that a lot. And then if, for example, they're doing JS with React, then make sure you know a bit of React when you walk in there. Make sure you got some stuff you can show them. If they're working with JS and Express on the back end, then learn that, You got to prepare yourself for a particular interview, first of all. Just like a fighter, when they go into a fight, they'll study the fighter that they're fighting. They'll study them, make sure that they understand what's going on. Hello, Mohammed asks, should I learn C# or Python? Depends on the type of work you want to do. It depends on the job opportunities. I would just look into that first of all. That being said, as I say, if you learn C# and you find there's more opportunities in Python, once you've learned C# to learn Python, be pretty easy. Once you learn Python, to learn C# will be pretty easy. All right, how are we doing? So we got 83. I'm going to jump into the subject at hand. It'll just be a quick one. It's answering email. It has to do with career and coding, and then I'll get back to your questions, okay? So let's just jump into it here. So I got this email. It was sent to me a while back. So I'll just read it, and we will all be able to comment on it, and I'll give my 2 cents as well. Good day. I've been watching your videos for a couple of days and wanted to ask you a couple of questions. I am from Greece. I'm sure you watch the news. The economy is spiraling out of control. Have you ever had a student Have you ever had a student that could work from overseas? I'm not sure. Do you mean, can students study under me from overseas? Yes, all the time, if that's what you mean. Do you mean people working overseas for another company. It happens all the time. How would you go about it? How do you become a student overseas? How could you work from overseas? Well, you can start with the sites. Again, I got to put together a video FAQ, common questions. You want to work overseas. You want to work remotely. You have to develop some reputation. First thing you got to do is you get your skills, number one. Number two, you put up a website, make sure it looks good. So you can profile who you are, what skills you have. Then you reach out to local business or remote businesses and you offer to do a couple of little projects for free. Why? So you learn how to work with remote businesses. And once you've done a couple of these free projects, first of all, you're going to start building goodwill. And then you are going to have something to show. You're going to have some skills to show. How do you find these remote businesses? You could go to one of these freelance sites, I don't know, like Upwork or something, and you could take it from there, developing your reputation. When you first start out in any business, any career, you're going to start out at the bottom because you got to develop skills and reputation. As you grow, you will quickly earn more and find getting jobs are just much easier. Let's go back. I'm in a career-changing hunt. I have a computer science background without the degree. I've been into computers since I was a teen, now approaching 40. I was on the path, but not one that pays a lot, nor one that has a lot of options working as an entrepreneur. My goal, working for myself, this is my goal, working for myself and not be tied by our government for pennies a day. Yeah, so freelancing is where you want to go. Freelance development is where you want to go. Probably going to be web design related, work for small business around the world, and then you are diversified. A quick note about diversification. Diversification is a concept that you hear about in investing. You never want to have all your eggs in one basket. You don't want to buy just Bitcoins. You just don't want to buy just one stock, Apple. You just don't want to buy just debt. You want to have your investments spread out quite a bit. This way, if one market crashes, you're okay here. If another market goes up, So, of course, if you would have bought Apple 10, 15 years ago and put all your money there, you'd be doing fantastic today. But, hindsight is 2020. You never know. You never know. So, for example, I bought, about 2 years ago, I bought ExxonMobil stock. ExxonMobil, biggest energy company in the world, blue chip. Once it was the biggest company in the world. And I said, hey, they're at a 5-year low. Can it go any lower? Can it go any lower? So I put in and I bought. Well, since I bought it, because of this crash in Corona, it's down like almost 60% from where I bought. But fortunately, even though I was convinced at the time that there's no way Exxon could go much lower given it's at a 5-year low, it's been just hanging there for years. And Exxon is such a big company. I figure, it's not going to go anywhere. It's gone so low, so I only put a tiny little percentage of my money into Exxon, thank God, because it's down so hard. So you always want to diversify, whether it be in investments, your income streams, etc. Let's continue. Through some of your videos, I saw a glimmer of light, and I'm reaching for your guides. Is there a way to Skype you or any advice to go through your material I'm about to purchase? Yeah, you can ask me questions online streams, through DMs about the courses, short questions. Typically, I don't answer these questions. If you want full guidance where you can talk to me, etc., I do have a mentoring program, but it's not inexpensive because you get full access to me. What I would suggest, if you're looking, there's a lot of material on my YouTube. There's literally well over 1,000 videos, could be 1,500 videos. A lot of it is a lot of career-oriented. There's a bunch of code videos. Maybe 100, 200 of them are code videos, but meaning where I'm coding and showing you how to code. But if you want to learn to code, you take my courses. But if you want a lot of career advice, just go through my old material. I got tons of old videos where I talk about careers and coding and freelancing. That is my advice to you there. I don't know what that is. That was weird. Yeah. Let me just delete this. Boom. All right. So there you go. That was that. So we've answered that question. So now what I'm going to do is, it's 10 minutes, so I'm going to start answering questions. How's your mouse doing? The mouse is doing better so far. knock on wood, I just installed a new version of the software, and I had this thing plugged in. I don't know if you can see. I had this thing plugged in, so it could have been eating up. I had a bunch of peripherals plugged into my computer. So this, since I pulled this out, it seems to be working a little bit better. We shall see. The timing seems to be a little bit off in terms of what I'm talking and the sound. I don't know if the video is syncing properly with my lips now. I just installed a new version of their software, so we'll see how it goes. All right. Let's start answering some questions. What are we at? 10 minutes. I got to be disciplined. I can't go for 40 minutes today. I'm going to only do half an hour max. Calisthenics for life. Hey, Stef, do you have a JS and PHP folk courses, including OOP, DOM? Yes, I do. Check out my StudioWeb courses. I teach object-oriented programming. I teach the DOM. I teach the whole 9 yards. I'll have links below when this broadcast, or just go one of the previous YouTube videos. You can check it out there. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah. Also, the Python 2 gets deep into OOP as well. Andres, I'm working as a marketing developer, but I would like to get into a more larger company. How can I convince people that design and coding are very well related? Well, good companies will understand that. Again, if I understand what you're trying to say, convince people that design and coding are well related. A good company will understand that the look and feel of the site is so important, as I emphasize. Again, you got to build up your reputation. Action, photo, passion. Are you going to talk about your debuts on COBOL? I don't know what debuts is. I'm not sure what you mean by that. I'm not a COBOL programmer. So, hey, Stef, I have 2 opportunities, Android dev or React Native dev. Which one should you choose? Whichever one you prefer. There's 3 things I would look at. Which environment you prefer in terms of the technology. Do you want to be Android dev or do you want to be a React Native dev? Where is the place that's the 2 job opportunities? I assume they're jobs. Which company looks better in terms of financials, in terms of where you'd want to work, in terms of the team maybe, and which one pays more? So these are 3 basic criteria you had to consider when selecting any job. In terms of long term, I think they're both fine, you know. Okay, where do we go? Let's scroll down. See what we got here. JSPR. Stefan, salary-wise, how do business functional analysis careers stack up to software programming? Both early as late career. I'm your base. Thanks. Both early as late career. That's like I'm not sure what you mean. Both early as late career, or you mean these are careers that you would be new at late in your life? Is that what you're trying to say? Business functional analysis. You know, just look at the job listings. And just also consider the nature of the jobs. There are 2 different types of work, and choose what you prefer at the end of the day. Yeah, because even if you're making 10, 20, 30 grand more in one job over the other, if you don't like that job, you're going to hate your life. So make sure you enjoy what you do. I read that one. Hi, Stefan. What's a good language to replace the archaic Visual Basic to create Windows apps that interact with SQL? I would go .NET C#. There's no question about that. Steph, how's your mouse? Yeah, I did that one. Yeah, it seems to be working pretty good. Working pretty good. Carlos, cloud engineering a buzzword for system engineering for an application architect? Is cloud engineering a buzzword for system engineering? You know what? I'm not sure, but it could be just a cloud engineering specialization or a modern version of that. Doesn't really matter. Titles, right? Frankie, apprentice at a large company for almost a year now, pushing out good work, but no promotion to full-time dev yet. What do you think is hold up? What the hold up is? It could be that they just don't have the work. It could be that But no promotion. It could be that they just don't know. There's no room to promote you. Maybe there's no slot to push you into. Um, could ask them, not in a confrontational one. Be nice, not in a confrontational way. Say, hey, I'm looking for a promotion. Any possibility? Is there a reason why? Hopefully they'll be honest with you. It could be just communication skills. Maybe you just need to up your skills. A lot of times, though, I can tell you from people I know who worked in corporate or who still do work in corporate, a lot of times to be able to go up the ladder, a lot of times you have to leave company A and go to company B to do that. So if you are a junior dev in one company, you may not be able to get to senior because there's no room for senior. You may be able to, but with some background behind you, you may be able to become a senior dev in some other company. So that might be those are just some scenarios that it could be why that is happening. Excuse me, I'm still bumbling here. Mohammed asks, how to stop comparing myself to other people, how to have growth mindset. Just by personal accomplishment. Yeah, you're always like that, in even in like personal wealth, people talk about keeping up with the Joneses, an old expression, You look at your friend who has a nicer car than you or has a bigger house than you or whatever. What you got to do is you just got to be concerned about your own accomplishments. You got to be concerned about doing better than what you did yourself the day before or a year before. That's what you got to do. One of my mentors ran a $50 million business back in the day, 200 years ago. So when $50 million was a lot of money. And he used to tell me, don't concern yourself with other people's business. Just mind your own business. And your life will be a lot easier. Throw in some FU money and some good exercise, diet exercise, good friends, and you're going to be golden. Don't pay the ransom. I've escaped. That's good. I would can I thumbs up this? I can't thumbs up it. Oh, well. What's up we got? Here we go. How can becoming proficient in JavaScript fundamentals translate into ML? ML, I assume, machine learning. Well, to get into machine learning, you have to be a developer. You have to know how to write code. So learning how to write JavaScript code is going to allow you to approach any type of coding, including ML. Although I know you can do ML in JavaScript, so I've been told if I were doing ML, I would still use Python because it's by far and away the most popular. Stefan, are there software engineering internships for Africans in Canada? I'm sure there would be. You would have to look around, though. That's very business specific, All right, let's go on. Let's go. Hamed, what should we do when we lose our inspiration? You should take breaks, introduce new types of coding, learn new things, make sure you exercise, make sure you drink lots of water. You have to have a balanced life when you are approaching anything. There you go. This guy's trolling me. All right, let's scroll down. Thank you, Frank. Thanks so much for answering. What about data structures and algorithms? Should I prepare using JS or pick up Python and learn it with Python? I see a lot of companies using Python for work interview. Yeah, no, it depends what your target goal is. If your target goal is to write Python, then learn Python. Data structures and algorithms, it's overemphasized today unless you're going into machine learning or something. Data structures and algorithms are not super important in terms of day-to-day coding. What I think about coding personally in my own career is mostly business coding, which is 90% of it. So yeah, you got to know the basics of those things, but they're overemphasized. Architecture is more important and best practices. All right, what else do we got here? Yo, this is cool that it shows up there. What do you think about Flutter now having web, mobile, and desktop support? I'm not surprised. I was When I first saw Flutter, I looked it over and I thought it had a life ahead of it. So Flutter is an interesting technology to consider. I think it's one of the more interesting cross-platform solutions that are out there. Where do we go? Should I do coding job if I have opportunity to do some business job versus business? I'm trying to interpret that. I don't understand the questions because you restate that in a simple way. Here we go. How much necessary cybersecurity knowledge should a developer must know? You don't need to be a cybersecurity expert. You just need to know the basics about SSL and SSH and locking down ports with a firewall and learning how to write code that is not easily hackable, scrubbing your SQL queries, that kind of stuff. But you don't have to be a cybersecurity expert. Let's see what we got here. Pratham. I am a first-year computer science student, and I know C++ and some data structures and algorithms. What should I do in the coming summer vacations? Competitive program or Android development? 100% Android development. Competitive programming is a gimmick. You'll be far better off writing real code, building real projects. All right? Is R good for data science? Does it have any scope as compared to Python? Because Python can be used in data science. I've never used R. I hear people like R, but I would go with Python because you can do much, much more than you can with R. And Python, yeah, this guy Hamed, you got to stop spamming the, please stop spamming the everything. Hello, Colleen. How are you? How is Portland? I hope the weather is better there than here in Montreal. Okay, here we go. Hi, Stefan. Do you advise generally to pass certifications such as Spring Boot certification in Java? Certifications are a way to start building some reputation and to test your skills if you feel uncomfortable about things. Real world experience is better. Having a strong portfolio of skills is better. I give the layup in terms of that, how to build that up. What I mean by layup, I give people the route. I teach them how to do that. I talk about it all the time. I got to put together a video FAQ for these live streams. Yes, so certifications can be useful in the beginning, but again, real world is better. Real world skills is more important. In full disclosure, StudioWeb is starting to roll out certifications. We just rolled out our HTML5 certifications, foundations, and we're going to have Python, and we're going to have JavaScript and others. So I have to be transparent about that. Zawad Sharif, PHP versus Node versus .NET versus Angular versus Django. Which is better for mobile backend development? Please don't say pick one of them. Just say which is better for future. Whoa. I think all of these are going to be around in some form or another. I think .NET will be an enterprise, big companies. Django, you see jumping around a little bit, small, medium-sized business, and big ones. PHP, small business. Node will be around for it. They're all going to be around. A lot of it is choice. Again, let's say you decide to do Node.js, and then 5 years later you found out that Node is no longer popular and .NET is super popular. For you to jump into .NET is going to be simple. It'll be simple. It won't make a difference. When I hire people, I'm less concerned about what languages they know, more concerned about their level of skill. Because if I rather hire, let's say StudioWeb, for example, is built with StudioWeb. StudioWeb is built with PHP Laravel. But let's say I lose my coders and I have to hire new people, and I have a choice between somebody who's got 1 year of experience with PHP and Laravel versus somebody who's got 5 years experience writing web apps with Python Django. I'll probably hire the guy who done Python Django, all things being equal. Why? Because 5 years experience writing web apps is much better than 1 year experience, even though they're going to have to learn Laravel, because once you understand how to build web apps are web apps are web apps. How does freelance digital marketing compare to web development during lockdowns? Huh. Well, I think web development is generally, as far as I understand, makes a lot more money. Yeah. If you have the skill, you're in. Whereas freelance digital marketing, I assume social media marketing, you can make a lot of money. I know people make a lot of money. Um, I think that's a very good question. A very good question. I think marketing budgets might be cut a little bit. Development budgets might be cut. You know what? I'm just speculating now. I'm just speculating. My prejudice, though, if you will, is that you're probably better off in development, but because there's a lot more development work to be done. Now that there isn't a lot of freelance web marketing, there's a lot there as well. I'm an entrepreneur working in logistics, have raised some funding. Oh, very good. Should I work with Flutter or React Angular or PWA for Uber-like app? Team size is small, no JavaScript experience. That's a very interesting. I would have to look at the project specifically. Yeah, Uber-like. Yeah, I would have to look at. I'm wondering, how much demand. Like, do you need to have access to some low-level functionality in the hardware? You would have to look at the project in detail. I can't give an answer, especially with Flutter, because not sure. Flutter is a fast-moving target. I don't know where it is. What I would do is I would go to the different communities, the Flutter community. There's got to be a message board community or something, and ask them. And go to React community and ask them, and PWA and ask them. PWA, do you have a lot of animations? If there's a lot more animations on the screen, I'm not sure how that impacts that or not. I'm thinking about Uber. We got the cars driving around. Might be trickier to implement in PWA. I'm not sure. You would have to look at the specifics. All right. Let's go. Pay-wise, how does functional business career stack up to software dev? Both early, late career, and I'm Europe-based. Just curious, like programming for different reasons, of course. I like programming for different... Okay, I think I answered this, or I tried to answer this. Okay, I think I answered this. You have to look at the local job listings, and choose what you like based on the type of work that you want to do. I can't emphasize that enough. You have to enjoy what you do. Yeah, I gotta learn how to block people if you keep doing that. Okay, let's go on, grow. Perl. I know Perl is still around, but it's not exactly a popular language. I think Perl is a language that was used quite a bit for server processes, and it was a predominant language used in the early 90s for the early web apps, but Perl is infamous for being hard to debug and maintain because it's such a flexible language. I'm not a big fan of it, but that's just my prejudice. Hi, I'm learning JavaScript, so one day I can build a booking website app for my mom's hair salon. Very cool. The idea, people can book online via an app. Apart from JS, what else should I learn? Well, this is something you could do via just a responsive website. You wouldn't need to build an app. So JavaScript is cool. So learn the web stack, HTML, CSS, JavaScript. My inclination would either be to do this with server-side JavaScript, Node, Express.js, or PHP and Laravel. So that's my suggestion there. So yeah, it's a good project. All right, we scroll down. Let's scroll down. Oh, here we go. Here's interesting. Should I take an unpaid internship for 3 months, or should I just focus on some personal projects? I am in my sophomore year of bachelor's. I would do an internship because working with a real client, even if you're not being paid, is worth 10 times more than working on your own isolation, because then you're going to learn to work with people, deal with specification gathering, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Big part about being a developer, big part of the job is being able to work with other people. Okay, let's see what we got here. Are software framework certifications ever worth it? If so, when? I've been looking into becoming an AWS certified and want to know if employers actually care about standards or just proving your skills. Depends on the employer. It depends on the employer. Some care, some don't care. Having it wouldn't hurt, especially if there's training. But first thing I do is I would look to see what the job opportunities are in that regard. Hold on. Right. Give me a second. The sun is changing out there, so it's changing exposure. Let's see what I can do. Let's see if we can help Philippe here. I am bored, stressed, and stuck in my dead job working in a legacy language. What's that? I'm kind of afraid to change, and I lost a lot of knowledge. Can you advise me, please? Today I am learning Flutter. Yeah, so don't quit your job. Learn the new tech that is interesting to you. Pick a technology that's interesting to you, since you already have a job that you don't like. See, here's an example. Here's a guy who doesn't like his job, doesn't like what he's doing. Even if you're making money, if you don't like what you're doing, it's hell. So make sure you like what you're doing. So I would pick the new stacks, the new languages that are interesting to you. And then I would start looking for job opportunities at the same time on the side. So you can take your time, find a good job, find a good tech that you want. Who knows where it will lead you? So that's what I would do. I would just start, after work, spend an hour, half an hour every day, start playing around, look for job opportunities in your area, and it's, do your research. And then, when you're ready and you know what you like, you found some potential opportunities for yourself, whether working with somebody else or start freelancing, start your own business. You transition out of it, so it's this nice, smooth process. This is where FU money comes in handy, right? When you have a pile of FU money, you got some choices there. What do you think about freelance websites such as Upwork and Freelancer? Well, I think they're very successful websites. I've heard good things about them and bad things about them in terms of people, software developers' experience using them. I think like anything else, you have to learn the environment, build up some reputation. You might have to take a first couple of gigs where you don't make much or any money. But that's okay. When you're first starting out, you got to earn your stripes, as they say. What age did you start programming full time? I think I started programming full time 26, I think it was, because I had my company before. At 25, 26, I started writing code. Well, I don't count when I was like 14, writing little basic programs, bouncing ball programs. So I don't count that. But I started writing code that made me money. I guess it was 22 or something, or 23, something like that. But that was for my own business, not as a full-time coder. Standard vet is okay. Do you believe your 215 course is still relevant? I bought it and it was quite promising, but it looks like it is so basic that I can't seem to how to develop to actual career. I'm not sure what courses you bought. Many of my courses that are continuously updated. So it looks like you bought something from several years back. But even those, it's like the foundations don't change. And I've had many people get jobs. If you follow through, they start off very simple. But if you follow through the curriculum, you'll get to a point where you will be able to get work a lot of people have. Let's see. How many websites should be in your portfolio to be able to start working as a self-employed developer? There's no set number, It's just getting the first couple of jobs, really. Sometimes if you have a beautiful site and you can sell yourself well, you may be able to get jobs right away. I've seen people do that. You may need to have two or three portfolio projects in your site before it starts working out. You got to just transition from your current situation into the freelancing lifestyle, so that you're not wanting for any money. What else? How can you how you can stand out in the competition at websites like Upwork and Freelancer? By doing super good work and having a super good looking website for you people to check out. They're going to make an impression about you. Uh, they're gonna form an impression about you based on how good looking your site is, your portfolio sites are. Here's a joke here. Luckily, you don't have a cat, or that mouse would be a goner. There you go. Okay, hold on. I'm scrolling down through questions here. How easy, hard do you think it is for a freshman freelancer to come and settle in Canada? I couldn't say. It depends on your level of education. It depends on a whole bunch of other factors. I'm fortunate I'm born here, so I never had to deal with that. You would have to do some research online. You may start off by getting jobs here. Depends where you're from. If you're from a British Commonwealth country, like Australia, the UK, I'm sure other places, you can citizens of all these countries can move around all these countries pretty easily. So, for example, my brother moved to Australia without any difficulty because we're former British colonies. So you're going to have to look into that. Depends where you are. All right, how are we doing today? Okay, 36 minutes. All right, guys, there's so many other questions, but I promised myself 30 minutes. We're at 36 minutes, so I'm going to cut it off here. That's it for now. I have another video coming out soon. It'll be either tonight or tomorrow on Python versions. I go more into in depth about that. I touched on it a couple of streams ago, and that's it for now. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this podcast, and we shall talk to each other very soon.